Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tesla Life number 182. The last show of 2020 has arrived. Man, I am glad 2020 is over.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Last show of 2020. Here we are. Joining us, as always, we have Mr. Casey Green from the DC area. How are you today on this getting to be the last day of 2020?
Well, just chilling out. We've got a day off of work, and temperatures are down, and just ready to ring in the new year. And hopefully, we have a better time of it than last time.
Have you got a mass storm running through your area, Casey?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh.
We are prepared. We've got food.
You would
we've
be
got
aware
salt,
of it
we've got
because there's a
snow
lot
shovel.
of rain and snow in certain areas. But
They were calling for flurries.
Okay, flurries. Yeah. It's raining up here because the temperature has just hovered above zero. So we've dodged the bullet so far. But apparently New York State and up towards Boston and Maine is going to be getting snow. But speaking of no snow, that would be Mr. Patrick Connor joining us from the West Coast. I assume there's no snow there. Patrick,
You are
am I correct?
Yep. No snow here. Lots of rain, though. Yeah, speaking of the end of 2020, so tomorrow's New Year's Eve, and all day the song 2020, 24 hours to go is going to be running through my head. 2020 has 24 hours to go. So hello out there, Tesla Life viewers and friends. I want to give a shout out to Theodore. Theodore, hey, how's it going? You used my referral code for a solar install on your house. So that's awesome. I'm glad that you are now getting powered by the sun, although we don't have a lot of it right now, but that's okay. Spring, the days are getting longer. We're past the solstice, so it's going to be coming soon. And also, we're here in the Tesla Life. We're on a mission to end emissions. Also, we want to convert diesels to D-cells. And of course, that's all part of moving to a future free from fossil fuels.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is our mission. Certainly, I don't know, D cells. What's a D cell?
Yeah,
is that like a double A?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're not literally going to run
batteries.
things on D cells. But you could call D cells 3362s if you want to go for the cylindrical naming convention.
There you go.
Alkaline 3362.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Very good. Very good. Well, we have got a lot of news for the end of the year. And of course, we're not going to know the full extent of the end of the year question until another few days from now. But let's get into the news that we came across. And first story is, of course, about that holiday hot update that Elon told us about. Casey, what are the details?
Well, I'm going to start out by saying that somebody had questioned Elon on the hot, and they said, well, I rated one fire emoji at best, and and Elon agreed that it might not be all that he had led us to believe. And then in my video, I rated it a quarter fire emoji at best.
Oh, damn, you're a tough grader.
I am. I haven't given out but what, 1 or 2 10s for Supercharger reviews. But the if you don't have the external speaker on your car, I give it a quarter fire. If you have if you do have the sounds and you find it amusing, then I give it anywhere from a half to a full fire emoji. For fun
I
factor.
haven't played the new games yet, but they looked like they were.
I like the new games. For Cat Quest, you're going to need to go ahead and get your. Oh, she's packed it away. You're going to need to get your game controller. And for Polytopia, for me, it looked like turn-based strategy, like Civ 3 through whatever they're up to now, and 7, 6. Anyway, and I enjoyed the little bit of I played, so I'm looking forward to next road trips being able to catch up on both of those. And then Solitaire.
Yeah, game controller for Cuphead. I found it impossible to play without one.
Yes, Cuphead was tough. But the same controller that worked on Cuphead will be the one that you'll use for Cat Quest, which was much more fun.
And of
because
course,
it was less difficult.
Of course, Solitaire, you use the 10 attached styluses that you have on your hands.
Yes, up to 10.
Humanus digitus.
Yes, and with those you will we found out that you can actually operate them while the vehicle's in motion if you're a passenger. You click the I'm a passenger button, and you can continue to use Polytopia and Solitaire, and maybe even a couple others like Karaoke or Karaoke.
I was going to ask, that only applies to the new games and not all?
Apparently, only the
Not
three
all of
new
them.
ones.
And not all the new ones. The Cat Quest won't work. It's 3D.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you need that controller.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there were a plethora of changes. Everybody got a new interface, including AP1 cars. I haven't, or not just AP1 cars, but including original release cars like 2013s, 2012s. I haven't seen any photos of them, but I have seen photos of AP1, and it looks the same as our AP2 and up cars, where everything is moved around and changed size, except that the lanes are still a little bit wider because it only has one eye to look through. They changed our release note interface, and I do like it. It took a little bit getting used to, mainly because the picture they used to introduce it had a bunch of gray lines, like they'd censored stuff out, and it took a minute to realize, oh, that's just a photo. They driving visualizations have improved. It's basically, that's the car avatar. If you have a legacy car, Model S and Model X, then your door open, window down, all that display hasn't changed. It's still quite static. And if you're looking at your car's avatar, if you have autopilot 2.5 and up, when the car interface zooms in, same as what you guys have on the Model 3 where you can scroll it around with your finger, then we can see our door status, our windows down. Amazingly, on the Model X, even though it knows exactly what position it's requested the door to open at, and it is holding it against the wind and gravity, it still just shows a generic door open, door close, which I thought was a missed opportunity. But they only have one door, only have one car in the fleet, including the Semi and Cybertruck prototypes that can actually control the doors. So maybe that effort was best used elsewhere.
I noticed also that some people with Model Ys, if they pop their trunks, you can see a blue screen above the door panel or the back hatch. It looks like an area that wasn't filled out properly graphically yet.
Gotcha. And on all the other cars except the Model X, you can see through the glass in the top of the car into the dash of the car, and you can see your touchscreen, and it's in the right orientation and everything. It's generally the wrong color, unless you happen to get the color car combo of the avatar. Most people don't. And on the Model X, that screen is there, but it's blocked by the spine of the car, so you only see it in an extreme turn, and at that point you really should be paying attention to the road.
Yeah.
It'd probably not have the trunk open.
Yeah, most likely not. Yeah.
They changed the Supercharger displays from having that nice block of where they'd fill in whenever a car came out, and the length of the slot would be the length of how many stalls there were for you to choose from. Now it just has a number, and if there's a problem, that it'll do just like before, but with a bigger pin where it has the wrench if it needs maintenance on one or more stalls, or the no with the X through it if it's a larger problem. And if there's no communication, it will be like it used to be with the Supercharger icon with the lightning bolt, and then good luck.
It's a gamble.
Yeah. But the Superchargers are just like our cars. They communicate over both cellular and Wi-Fi, and if it loses that connection or doesn't have it, then well, it can only do so much.
Goes kind of dark. Yeah.
Yeah. My understanding is they can also communicate through a car that rolls through, but again, they use the same connection, so that it's very rare they would need to do an update or anything from the Supercharger with a car. But that would be a good way to keep them up to date if they know, hey, this guy's about to go plug into that Supercharger. It's 3 versions behind. Let's use his car to update it.
Yeah.
So now let's get into if you have the sound system. So if you have the pedestrian warning speaker, the one that constantly sends me into a rant because it is done under the guise of helping out blind and deaf disabled people. But it is truly not, because if that mattered at all to them, then any gas car that was also quieter than whatever arbitrary limit they've set would be required to follow the same regulations, and they are not. So you've got Rolls Royces, Bentleys, and any other luxury performance well, not necessarily performance, but any luxury car or truck that's designed to be silent. They don't, if they're under the standard, they don't have to make noise, which is anyway. Oh, Patrick is.
Hence why some of these changes probably showed up, right? It's
Oh yes,
'cause
absolutely.
It tweaked
It highlights
Elon
it.
as well.
Exactly. Patrick was trying to say something, but he was muted there.
Oh,
Yeah, if it's
Oh, you're coming in real quiet now.
about safety, all vehicles that are below that threshold should be required to do it.
I agree.
Patrick, your microphone is light.
Like no
for
power
whatever
to it.
reason. Like you can barely hear you.
Yeah. So Elon and crew came up with a nice, fun way to take advantage of this required regulatory safety device. Again, like Patrick and I said, if it were what they said it was, instead of a chance to kick EVs and hybrids and try and keep people on gas cars by making them sound space age, then they would all have it. But anyway, so they took this and they took advantage of the fact that that you could have multiple sounds per manufacturer, and I don't know how they got around it by allowing us custom sounds, unless custom is one of the 8 sounds.
Yeah.
And so you can play music through your speakers with the Boombox feature. That's completely separate. You can play you either play what's coming through your Bluetooth or your Spotify or your Live by Live Tesla streaming audio, whatever you want to call that service, and that will come out of the pedestrian warning speaker at about 79 decibels. The next couple steps are you can do horn supplements and horn replacements when you're in park. If you push the horn with the horn replacement turned on, it will replace your horn with an audio file that you have pre-selected or one of the other options that are built into the car. And then with the pedestrian warning speaker, when you're that was when you're in park. When you put it in drive or reverse, if you push the horn, then you'll get a dual tone. You'll get the high and low horns from the car, and then you'll also get the custom sound. And for the pedestrian warning speaker, reverse, for some reason, I don't know if that's a bug or if it's required. Reverse is always the same Tesla reverse sound. But when in drive, you get, when in drive below, was it 19.4 miles per hour?
25
again,
kilometers. Yeah.
Well thought out regulation. With that turned on, you can then replace it with a custom MP3, and it will loop through that sound clip. Somebody had asked if you can put silence, and I didn't see anything indicating that it was checking what you were putting through there. But that'd be the same as you as an owner going in and unplugging the speaker. So that would be up to your local enforcement whether or not that's allowed or not. But if you want the fun sounds like the Boombox, but don't want to make your local street corner at a red light sound like a cacophony of ringtones, which I warned years ago, then you can just silence it, I guess. But I'm sure that if that becomes a problem, they might put a detection in for that. You'll have to make a separate partition, and there's instructions online for that.
So you do that with like your USB storage? Is that
you'll put a separate partition on your USB storage, or you'll plug in a second USB drive. But since you only get 2 data ports, and you kind of probably want one for your dash cam, then come on, Tesla, we're gonna need more active data ports. I think.
Well, they are up to 3 now, right?
Yeah, on the 2021s, you're up to 3 because you got the one in the glove box. But and you can always do a hub. USB hubs work, but give us some full speed USB 3s, so that way whenever you come out with the pillar cameras, we can just record 8 streams directly to our SSD, please.
That could be coming. Absolutely.
Yes. So that was the pedestrian sounds.
Patrick, you're still light.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even realize I was talking right over him.
Yeah. He's having some microphone difficulty.
Gotcha. So they also adjusted the emissions testing mode. So again, if you have that exterior speaker, you can now fart in your general direction. You can make the various gaseous noises occur outside the car, just like a gas car does. But they sound a little more flavorful and wet.
I don't know if that's good or not. That's
It would be
That's-
humorous. Is all I
that's
can
a little too descriptive, Casey. A little bit TMI rolled into
say,
there.
isn't it? Well, I mean, that is the name of one of them. Is Wet. We talked about the new games, and yeah. So, like I said, it was a shorter update than was intended by Elon and crew. We should expect a part 2 probably after New Year, but it would be really awesome if we see it on New Year's Eve. There is also right now, those are, if you want to see if you've got those are 2020.48.25 and .26. I can't tell the difference between who gets what because I've seen cars with and without the speaker get both versions. And I got 26 and I don't have the speaker. Yeah.
Now, what I noticed was that in daylight mode, it's a little bit less of a contrast screen. So previously there was much more contrast on the edges and for buttons, and they've gone to a kind of a white gray pattern now across the daylight mode. The night mode looks great. There's lots of contrast there, but during the day, just a little bit light. Not getting anything, Patrick.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're in. You're in now.
All right. Okay. Cool. All right.
Thankfully for Model S and Model X, they didn't do as much tweaking with the colors. They just moved everything around and shrunk it down. So like the battery looks crisper, and now I've noticed that my wife can't read the temperature outside because it's moved to the far right.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so some things got juggled around. The speedometer changed closer to the driver. Smaller fonts. If you get in, as you do here in Canada, where you can go triple digits on highways, this font even gets smaller when it goes triple digit. So, and then of course the parking stuff down the side, park, neutral, drive down the side, takes up a little space, and of course the visualization screen got bigger. Therefore, your reverse camera and mapping got smaller because it took up some extra space. You lost maybe about an inch for your mapping system on the Model 3.
Yeah,
so,
for us, they moved the gear indicator, but they didn't change its size or orientation. And the camera obviously was unaffected because it's on an entirely separate screen. But they did take the time to shrink everything.
Yeah.
So for
that's not
consistency,
good.
of course.
You see these glasses here? Don't make things smaller. I can't wear these when I drive.
That's what most of the people who told Elon, other than it was pretty, that's what most people were telling him. And he agreed that they need a UI overhaul. And he also indicated that there will be an option to change the layouts. He suggested there'll be at least 3 different layouts you can choose from. And 2020.48.30 was previously spotted running around. Oh, there it is. There's 34 cars with it on Tesla Scope as of 2 minutes ago. Okay. Yeah, so that one appears that it's probably also going to be a minor update, but there aren't enough cars yet out there on the various services for us to have a list of what's included in that. So if you get that, it's probably also the holiday update, but not part 2.
Yeah. So very interesting. I would completely agree. It's only really worth a quarter hot at this point. Some
I'm not
of it.
complaining. I'm just saying it wasn't double hot.
It's and of course change is sometimes hard for us to take, even in the Tesla world. If you get used to a screen and then all of a sudden they change the composition, the lineup of different things, you can definitely see that you've gotten used to the screen as you had it previously. Sometimes the menu has changed a little bit. The icon for the backup camera and the windshield wipers have now dropped to the bottom of the screen. That might be easier for you to know where the bottom of the screen is, so you can place your hand at the bottom of the screen and then touch the button with your thumb. That might be easier. There's a few things like that, but I think it's let's try them out and let's send our response in as to what we felt. And if there is a major problem, there are now enough of us. There's over 1 million of us on the roads. There's going to definitely be a blowback if they miss something by a long range.
Yeah, and I will say this: please don't be too hard on the team, because my theory is that, or my hypothesis is that they are trying to, because remember all the regs they have to follow worldwide. So I imagine there's some some country where they can only have X% of change between updates. And so I'm wondering if this is allowing them to get closer to moving it to the full self-driving display without violating some random country's laws. Now, it'd be nice of them to keep everything legible.
Small requirement.
Because none of us are getting any younger.
Correct.
Yeah, Tesla cars are not cheap, which means their buyers tend to be a little older with more money.
Yes.
Which means they tend to have worse eyesight. Just,
Yep.
not every case.
And then the younger ones tend to
approach.
work at the sciences, which means that you're closer to a screen, which weakens the eye muscles.
Yep, yeah. Nerds and glasses, they go together, and nerds and Tesla. Hey, I'm not throwing rocks. I'm in the club.
Likewise.
Oh man. So it's quite an endeavor, and Elon, as Casey's already mentioned, had indicated that it's not all done. They weren't able to complete everything that they wanted to get done. There's going to be more that will happen as time goes along. So we'll look forward to part 2 of the holiday update.
Yes.
Yeah, the other fire emoji's coming later.
Gamut of tests to run it through. Also, if you guys have seen any of my testing videos, the deep dives, if you could go and either put in this video or on the Tesla Life Twitter or on one of my videos or my Twitter, if you have any tests you want to see, put them in there. And then if they are something repeatable and reasonable that I can work in consistently, I'll start doing that test for you as well.
Cool.
Very good. Very good. Our next story comes from an owner of a Model Y who is in Vancouver, British Columbia, who had a mobile tech show up to fix an issue that they were having on their Model Y. And this mobile tech was able to meet them at work, it appears, and help them out. And just talking about a mobile tech that's gone above and beyond the call of duty. Here we are in an outside parking lot as Vancouver gets hit with a bit of a snow flurry or snowstorm. And there you can see the mobile tech's car working on the Model Y, one set further back. The mobile tech obviously is in the S with the rear gate open. But again, these technicians are accessing customer cars in many different circumstances. Here in a bit of a weather problem, but it's a testament to this group that goes out there and helps people out with service wherever their car is. Hopefully, if it was an item that had to be prolonged activity, you could have your car in a garage or in a parkade or something along that lane that would help the technician as well. But it is
the least you can do.
These guys are doing so. This was shared via Twitter, and we reposted it on the Tesla Life's Twitter feed, which is at the Tesla Life. If you haven't joined us yet, please do so.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of interacting with around 10 or so of the mobile techs across 3 different states and 2 or 3 different service centers. So, I mean, they all are like this for me, and I don't understand why the disconnect between the mobile tech and the on-site service centers, unless it's the service centers are just too busy. But if we could get more service like that, they would be tearing up the charts all over the place from service to sales and quality of the product. So, I mean, kudos again to the mobile team. I mean, in that same situation, the guy would probably come up and offer you a hot coffee. It's like, where did you find the space to put a coffee maker, guy? I think that the point of the coffee maker is really for if they come as a roadside pickup to grab you and change a tire or whatever. And if you've been huddled in the snow for a minute, let's warm you up. But the fact that they still do that is just, the mobile service is just like a concierge doctor. It's like, it leaves you warm and fuzzy every time.
It is. It's something that is certainly goes above and beyond the call of duty. It appears.
And no extra charge too.
I've had the pleasure of dealing with just one mobile technician, and their service was exemplary. It was unbelievable. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, and I love the way that each of them treats the local area like it's their own private garage. They know everybody by name. They see your car drive by and they notice something's off. They send you a message. Hey, you want us to put an appointment in? I noticed that your item is hanging down from below the car there. It's a great experience, and I love this aspect of Tesla ownership.
Yeah, me too. I've had great experience with the mobile guys. There's one, CJ, he was really cool. He called and said, I'm going to be a little late. And I said, well, I've got to go to my daughter's soccer game. And he said, okay, I'll just meet you there. And so he worked on the car in the parking lot while I was watching my kid play soccer, and that was just great. Yeah, lots of good experiences. There was even one, same guy, CJ, we were having an electric car club event, and he came there and then was just like, oh, are you having any issues? Okay, I can fix that. And so he fixed like 4 or 5 little things on cars for owners that didn't even have appointments. I mean, that was just great.
And even for people who didn't have appointments, like you said, they remember the recall they had on the seatbelts on the Model S early in the deployment. What they did was they sent mobile rangers. They weren't called mobile technicians back then. Mobile rangers to the Superchargers in the middle of a heavy travel season. Like, was it Christmas or Thanksgiving?
I think it was Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah, they were inspecting to see if your car needed repairs, and they would repair it on the spot while people were going on their holidays. Wow.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. That way you're not inconvenienced. You don't have to set up an appointment. Their service centers aren't overwhelmed. I really wish they would do more of this.
Very good. Casey, I just wanted to touch upon our last story. We didn't really mention it about the extra speaker. Have your video talked a little bit about some people that have speakers already built in, pedestrian speakers, and some that have the harness but no speaker. Right. What did you find out about speakers?
So I found out that the part is, according to Eric from Tesla Inventory, it's about $55. But I found out from Green the Only and a couple other sources that if you're pre-wired, you can plug in the speaker. And if you plug it in and do nothing, you'll either get no sound or you'll get just the reverse sound. But if you get your car's configuration at the mothership updated to show that you have the speaker installed, then at some point you'll either have the items turned on from the holiday update or you'll get another copy of the holiday update with the sounds built in. But right now, the service team has been a little overloaded with folks who saw Elon's message about potentially finding a way to get cars that don't have any wiring, any speakers, any grills, no provisions whatsoever aside from the Hardware 3 computer. He's looking into it. No promises. People have already started flooding the service department with service requests, and so now if they see anything about the sound system, they're canceling your appointment. Hopefully, at some point, they'll have an official document. Basically, this is what they're doing is the way they update your configuration. When you got the Model Y initially, when it rolled out, while the Model 3, Model S, and Model X had the wheel chooser, the Model Y never had that to begin with. And so if you ended up changing from the 19s to the 20 Sports, or say winter came and you changed from the 21-inch wheels down to the 19s with no tires, like a lot of Mark's neighbors might have done, they would have to go into the car's configuration file, update it, and then that's your next reboot. The car would show the correct tires, the speedometer would adjust, everything. So what they do is they would edit that same file and say, hey, yes, this person has the speaker on this car. But with the previous situation with the wheels, only a couple people did it because they're going in and manually editing the config, but they came out with a procedure for how to do it properly. And so it sounds like what most of the sites are doing is they're waiting for an official document saying this is the way to change the configuration back and forth, and then they'll be willing to just do it on the drop. But if your mobile technician or your service center is friendly with you and they offer to do it, just tell them thank you. Don't go bragging about it. Just accept that your car now has the boombox.
They're under pressure right now, for sure.
Yes, they're in the crusher. So if you don't have it at all, don't bother them. If you do have it, maybe put 4, 5, 8 weeks out, put a request in, say, hey, can I get my vehicle config file updated, please?
Yeah. Well, speaking of configurations, Casey configured a gingerbread build.
I did.
And actually, if you've been eagle-eyed, you can probably see it in the background.
The Cyberbread truck.
The Cyberbread truck, exactly. Those are Kit Kats, aren't they? As the
those are Kit Kats for the solar panels.
Yeah, exactly.
You notice I added a
Oh, you broke the windows.
I broke the windows. In the video, I actually said, we're gonna need a little help from Franz, and I clicked in the reveal day. We were all there.
Is that the first time you tried to build a 3D object out of gingerbread?
It would have been easier if I did gingerbread. I use graham crackers, and they don't shape very well.
Ah, yes.
My wife and I had a heck of a time.
Well, it looks like you used a number of building materials, not just graham, but you got cookies, you got chocolate bars. What's the windows made of to make them black?
We put black gel icing on them.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we had a mixture. We were going to use just one type of graham cracker, and then we were going to use the darker ones for the glass, but we ended up burning through a couple of them. So we had to. That's why it's multicolored now. And I had thought of it the day before Christmas Eve, so there was no time to do search around for red icing because it was all sold out, and the only place that was still open that had any confectionery supplies didn't have silver. So that's why the plan was to make it white iced, but we used all of that as a paste.
For your cybergram truck.
Yes. But it was a blast. It's a fun little video. It was under 6 minutes. Check it out.
Exactly. And with Casey doing that, another food story that we had was someone talking about the ups and downs of using your frunk, as a pizza holder from when you buy that pizza. And they had a photo, and I'm just trying to share it here.
I do still recommend using your frunk for smelly foods as well as temperature appropriate food. So in the summertime, we'll put hot food in there, and in the wintertime, we'll put cold food in there. So
this person was demonstrating their acceleration ability on the way home after picking up their pizza, obviously. Because all the toppings have slid off to the one side. So my suggestion to them was, just put it back in the frunk and just turn the box 180 degrees and go out for another run.
That would do the trick. Another option is to also get the cheese put on top of the toppings. Give them a little bit of stick.
That's one ludicrous pizza.
Exactly.
Ludicrous stuff.
Exactly. Next story, we found that the Green the Only, the white hat hacker that he seems to be the only one that's getting into the code. He is in the news everywhere. Every couple days he's coming up with something new. But he has found something that I'm excited about, is that a couple of new music services apparently have been found in the code for Tesla. And the first one that's furthest along apparently is Tidal, Tidal. And that music system is apparently further along, and he believes that probably be the next one to be introduced. He's noticed that the icon for Tidal has been already loaded in a certain section, and it looks like it's going to be added shortly. But what I'm excited about, because I'm a subscriber, is Apple Music. He found also a link to Apple Music, as well as Amazon Music, and a couple of others as well. So looks like Tesla is continuing to grow with the music services that they're going to share inside the car with its own app. And that kind of update is great to see because, of course, the more choice you have, the better. And as time goes along, this is also possibly leading us down the road towards a time when other developers maybe will be able to add to this. Maybe there will be actual apps that others can develop and then add to the overall Tesla architecture. Now, obviously, that's not short term, but as the number of cars on the road grows, we talked about having over 1 million at this point already. As that continues to grow, having your own group of what they call that, an SDK? Is that what it's called?
SDK and an API.
Yeah. So that type of thing will be great. So things to look forward to. Looks like some Apple Music and Tidal are on the way, and we certainly will watch for those things and announce when we see it getting a little bit closer.
Yeah, while he was in there, he also noticed that there were code for the Tesla Semi and a Model S and Model X with an internal camera.
Right.
Yeah.
So
then,
that kind of keeps those rumors about a refresh still happening. To have a camera attached to a mirror inside an S and an X would be interesting.
But as we've seen with S and X, they could just slap a camera on top of the mirror and call it a day.
I wonder if they'll build the CB in to the semi-truck, make it part of the Tesla system. Breaker, breaker, got your ears on?
That would be cool.
Smokey's coming.
Yes. But he also alluded to somebody asked him a question that was a bit of a lightning rod, and he stepped back. He said, "We've got a little bit of a non-binding understanding, so I'm not going to give you any more information on that, but I do have it." And I wonder if this is why maybe he's the only one that we ever hear from. Is there anybody else doing it, or have they all been silenced?
Yeah, well, he is the spokesperson. Like, you don't get a lot of information from others, so I've got to believe there's a kind of a gag order that's in effect. Certainly, for when it comes to public awareness of things, it seems to be only Elon breaks these type of news snippets out, and of course, he's probably getting these questions asked to him 100 times a day from 100 different people across multiple continents. But I think his team on his Twitter just kind of saves the questions that they want to answer at some point in the future. And then they just reply to them 3 days later, or maybe a week or a month. Whenever their timetables line up, then they reply to somebody's old tweet that they've kept so that they can announce something. It's marketing is what it is.
Yeah. And then usually it's always like a week before it actually hits the cars too. It's like, oh yeah. Sounds easy. We'll make it happen, and then there's an update, and it's really something they've worked on for months. So we've got Green, we've got Jason Hughes, we've got Engineerix, and a couple others that we see regularly. But Green is by far out front as far as the amount of releases we've seen.
Yeah.
And if you want, you don't have to go on Twitter. You can let us know. We'll help get the message out if you want. Just don't break any agreements. We're not going to get you out of jail.
Absolutely. Speaking on working things for a while, a Chinese manual of the Model Y appeared online, and inside of that manual there is indicators about a bioweapon defense mode for the Model Y, as well as the coveted heated steering wheel that we're just dying for here in Canada.
Yeah, another one from Green the Only, our favorite white hat hacker here.
That's right. That's right.
He's actually going through the Chinese manual to find stuff. I mean, this guy is definitely on top of things.
Yes, I appreciate the work ethic. He also told me how to hack my key to make sure if the key has been updated or not for the Model X exploit.
Oh, cool.
In the public forum. So, I mean, if you want, look at me and Green talking, and then you can see. Ignore all my chatter, but you can look for him talking about which utility to use to check out the key.
Cool. And Patrick, that's got to be what an undertaking! Like going through a Chinese manual electronically, yes. Pulling out bits of information, getting them translated. That's incredible.
Yeah, so this looks like it's in English. So I don't know if he posted screenshots, and it is in English. So I don't know
English or code.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if he translated it or if they publish an English and a Mandarin version.
Chinese manual.
I have an idea. Yeah. I have an idea. Green says that we all get the same software updates. So what if we all get the same manual, and they just block out what doesn't go to our region? So like they've already written it in English, just hand it over to the Chinese translator, and then he's able to see the English version because obviously they developed the car in North America. We speak English.
And then they just write it in Mandarin or whatever language.
Local, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They localize it. Yeah, so I wonder if this was actually in all versions, and it was supposed to be blocked out, and when it was translated, they missed that. Don't publish this part.
Well, he's reading it from the Chinese manual that's published from the car system. So, like when he found it at first, it said Model 3, but when he looked closer, the Model 3 was actually cut out. Like it's like there's like a little bar there, and it's like not the Model 3, just the Model Y.
Just the Model Y, and that makes sense because they've talked about how the filter is too big to fit in the 3, and the Y is not exactly the same size. It is a little bit longer and a little bit wider. So maybe that little bit is just enough to make it fit, or maybe they found a smaller filter.
I bet you it's a smaller filter.
Probably both, especially if they went into it knowing, hey, this is going to be our most popular vehicle ever. And in the Chinese market, we need bioweapon mode. And hopefully they pull the Model X and then bring that back worldwide as standard equipment or as optional equipment. At first on Model X, it was optional, and then by the time that my car was built, I think you had the option to up to it, Patrick, or was it standard by the time you got yours?
It was standard when I got mine, yeah.
Okay, and then by the time we got ours, it was standard on all of them. So.
Yeah, that seems to be the trend with Tesla. If it makes manufacturing easier, they tend to include a number of things that used to be options because it speeds things along.
Yeah, like the rear fog lights on the Model X. They're a lot easier to just include them than it is to have two separate filters, two separate taillights.
Yeah, different light packages.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you said this was good for the Chinese market, but I mean, with the fires we've been having on the West Coast, I think it's good for all markets to have this air filtration. We all want to breathe clean air.
Clean air, yeah. That's why I'm hoping that they go worldwide with it, because, I mean, certainly, it was intended... Go ahead.
Certainly what we've seen with the Model 3 being made in China and being shipped to Europe, and of course Ys most likely will follow the same trend, that leads us to believe it's a world car. It's going to be used everywhere the same, hopefully. So hopefully those changes that we see in China also come to North America as well.
Right.
As a plus, we saw that the Model 3 got new lights in the U.S. After the Chinese and the world car got new lights. So,
well, speaking of new things, a couple of deal sweeteners have hit the airwaves about purchasing a new Tesla. You know that we're down to about 36 hours or less before the end of the year, the end of the quarter, the end of Tesla's year. At the end of all of our years, actually, but
unless you're Microsoft, that counter-rotated year.
Yeah, exactly. But
there's lots of calendars out there. Don't be Western.
Right? Don't be calendarist.
Centric person.
But what they've done now is they've added a few things. We heard just recently about the year of supercharging that comes with cars. That if you purchase them off the lot and they're in your possession before midnight on the 31st. And now, most recently, with 2 days left to go, it was announced that they're offering a 3-month version of FSD to go with the purchases as well. So again, same stipulation. You have to take possession and the paperwork be signed before midnight coming tomorrow. So less than 2 days, about 36 some hours, less than that now. And if you have interest in getting yourself a Tesla and those pieces appeal to you, like we always say on this show, if you see what you want and it makes sense to you now, take it while you can. Yep. So this, of course, is the first time that they've offered FSD as a sweetener or a lever that they're pulling to sell more cars. So
well, I would say FSD subscription.
Yes.
More accurately.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think a handful of people have been able to get FSD, at least at a steep discount. But so do you think
free trial? Yeah.
Yeah, free trials too. Do you think
free trials 2 weeks though?
Right, or a month. Yeah. Do you think that we will see more people hop on to FSD as subscription when this is over, or do you think that we'll see more people enjoy the 3 months and then just buy it because it's cheaper than renting it?
I would love to see the figures of people that were given it on a trial and see what was converted, what percentage converted people. And that would probably lead us to an answer as to what Casey's asking. But certainly, I think as Casey's even mentioned in a previous show, it's going to boil down to if you're leasing the car or you own the car. There's a big difference there because, of course, a person that's leasing and purchases full self-driving, they may not get the full bang for their buck that they would like. A lease would be up there, would be a way for them to get more bang for their buck because they're trading in their car after 2 or 3 years. So that makes sense. But I'm not sure. I think that question is becoming harder and harder to answer as the price of FSD just keeps rising.
Yes,
because people are now looking at it going, geez, it's $10,000 at this point,
and rising.
and at a point, a lot of people are just going to say that's enough. Can't afford that. It's raised out of my comfort level area price wise, and I know a number of people have even said that that's a lot of money for an add-on feature to a car. And if you're not planning on using it as a robotaxi in the future, or if you don't believe that robotaxi will come along within a certain period of time, there's a lot of people that are going to say, forget it, I'm done. I'm just going to sit it out and wait. And maybe my next car. But this one, I'm within a budget, or I have a certain time frame that I'm going to own the car for, and all those things come in as factors as to what you're going to do.
Yep. So with the lease, I want to remind you guys, if you're already thinking about FSD and you aren't thinking about the subscription, if you haven't completed your purchase yet, go ahead and add FSD to the builds configuration, and then they will chop it up into your lease payments. So that way you won't be paying for the whole of it. You'll only be paying for the portion of that purchase for while you own the car, while it's in your care. And then the rest of it will go back on Tesla's dime. So that way you're good to go. But if you decide that you do like it and you're leasing, maybe don't pony up the full 10, 11, 12 grand, whatever it is when you think about it. At that point, just do the month to month, depending on what the prices come out to be.
Right. They haven't announced the prices yet, so we don't know exactly how that math's going to work out. But we should find out next month.
And if we believe what Elon's been saying, it's going to be more expensive than buying it outright if you are a full-time owner of the car. I do want to also point this out, that with the price going up, it's listed on my car as standard equipment. So my insurance company would include it in their calculations if my car was considered a total loss. But my tax department at the county also considers it. So this past year, before I moved counties, I was reassessed my taxes for the year, and they said the value of my car went up. And I called the guy names because everybody knows cars are a depreciating asset, and he must be trying to pull a fast one.
And did he quote you, Elon, that says that this car is no longer a depreciating asset?
No, but I was thinking that after I saw the books. I asked him exactly what book, what edition, blah, 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 and I went and looked it up. And I said, oh, snap. The car had actually gone up in value, defying all logic. And
yep.
So that is also something to consider. So now if I were to, if my car were to survive 100% and I were to private party sale it or sell it according to trade it in at a dealership, its value has got extra according to what people can buy full self-driving for today versus what I paid for it. Because yes, you can add it, but you can only add it at the new price. So if I sold them a car with no full self-drive and it's $15,000 to add it, then the car will be worth way less than a car that's already got it, and they don't have to upsell somebody on it, or they don't have to go through the hassle of. It's kind of like the original Tesla stock. It's just kind of it started out at $34 and now it's at split and it's at $690.
Yes, indeed. It's a brave new world. So
I hope FSD pricing does not go up like the stock. That would be
I agree.
Too fast. I hope you
I need to get another car
5
first.
times more.
Yeah. What I want to do is I want to get a fleet of Model 3s and release them upon the world. So I hope I can catch them before.
Well, you better start buying now, because if you're
I can't afford to hold on to them now.
If you're waiting, man, FSD is going to be out of reach from, once they have a robo-taxi network, there's nothing stopping them from raising that 10,000 to 30,000 to 300,000. I don't know where it's going to go.
right? I need to find some of those ones that haven't been total lost, but are on sale for a steep discount and just need cosmetic repairs, and then just add FSD to a bunch of them.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Used cars. So that if you're buying for your own taxi fleet, that's the way to do it.
Yep. Well, speaking of fleets, we seem to be the group that shares police photos. So we've got a new Model Y that's been added to a police fleet. This is the first Model Y that's been added to a police fleet. This one in Westchester, New York. They got their updated Model Y just recently, and you can see it looks kind of undercover. I don't know if they're going to put some side graphics on it or if it's going to remain kind of an undercover car, but the obviously the light package is up and running. So congratulations to Westchester. You're the first in North America that has an operating Model Y as a police cruiser.
Please tell me we've got them scheduled already.
Should reach out to them. No, I have not done that, but
Yes.
excellent idea. Yeah, we should reach out and talk to maybe a commissioner or someone there that is getting involved with that. So with that said...
Oh, Patrick, you've gone mute again.
Right again? Can you hear me?
Barely.
Barely. You're back to barely. And that's unfortunate because it's Patrick's stories next. Of course, Murphy's Law strikes. So Patrick is just kind of working on. I'll just introduce this. We of course have gotten a story here about we've been talking about. We're getting close to the end of the year. Go ahead, Patrick. Can you
hear me now?
Yes.
A little better. Yep.
All right. Yes. So this is a story on electric. Elon Musk says Tesla can still achieve milestone of 500,000 cars in 2020, but will need to go all out. So this is an ongoing bet on the show. Casey, I think you said it's going to be plus or minus right around 500K. I think, Mark, you had 510 and I've got 520. So I'm the optimist on this one. And the cool thing about this is I just saw a 2014 interview where they were asking Musk about Tesla's growth, and he said, "I'm confident that by 2020 we'll be delivering 500,000 cars a year." And so they are right on schedule to that 2014 prediction. And maybe they miss it by a few, maybe they don't. Either way, it's still an awesome achievement that they're even this close to it. To meet this milestone, they're going to have to deliver 181,000 cars this quarter. Their best quarter ever was Q3, where they delivered 140,000. So they're going to have to deliver 40,000 more than their previous best quarter. But we've seen every quarter they're achieving new records and making new milestones. So I'm really hopeful that they're going to make it. So this story on electric started with a email from Musk company-wide that leaked out, of course, as they always seem to.
How does that happen?
Yeah. And so here's Musk trying to motivate the employees. Please go all out to make this happen. This is a great milestone to rally the company around achieving. All the critics who, as recently as 2 years ago, said that we'd never make it. So they've called this an impossible 2020. To heck with them, we're going to do it. So that's great.
It certainly sounds optimistic from Musk's end, and I really believe they're going to make it. They're certainly going over the 500,000 mark. If you haven't noticed already on our Twitter feed at the Tesla Life, we have a poll up that you can participate in for the next 24 hours. So join in and let us know what you think the number is going to be. But right now we have it's sitting at about 62% of people believe it's going to be between 500 and 510. And we've only got like 9% think it's not going to quite meet 500. And we've got on the other end, we've got about 20% of people think that it's going to go over the 510, somewhere between 510 and 520. And then just a handful of people believe it's going to be above 520.
Cool.
The only reason I was any sort of skeptical with this is they did have 4 factories shut down for multiple weeks due to global events, and
That's true.
I mean, we're talking about the Tilburg plant in it's England, right? And they had the Nevada plant, Berlin, and I'm sorry, not Berlin.
Shanghai.
Berlin, yes, but not that it was producing cars. Berlin, but Beijing and also Fremont. And if you want to count the factories that are around Fremont, like Cato Road, the Seed Factory, they all had to shut down for global events. I don't doubt that they will be really, really close to the number. I do think that if they don't make it, they will be really close. But as we saw last quarter, they did a bang up job with all the obstacles they had. So if they don't make it, it'll be really close. But I do think that they'll do what he says, because so far they've always done exactly what he said, and I think they might have been off once, and then 2 or 3 times they were off what the analysts said. But I don't really count what the analysts say, because they think it's just a car company and they don't know what they're talking about.
They think Tesla will never make a profit and won't be around much longer. So those guys have lost the microphone because they don't know what's going on, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
But with that, we certainly want to thank everyone that's participated and watched the show over this past year. As we head into this final few days of 2020, we hope everyone is safe out there and is enjoying the holiday as best they can. We hope that more brighter days are in front of us with this vaccine that the world has received, and we hope that things will get better. We believe that science will help us. We will get better. It's just that it's tough to see it after 9 months now. We've been sitting in this limbo. But certainly we look forward to 2021, and we believe that things will get better. With that, if you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up in the video. Please press the subscribe button if you haven't already. That helps us out. It helps support the show. And you can follow us on Twitter at The Tesla Life, and on Facebook, The Tesla Life #1. And with that, Casey Green, any shout-outs for the end of the show?
Yeah, I've made a couple of videos for you folks this week, including the Cyberbread house and Tesla software updates and how to do your speaker. Check it out at youtube.com/Casey Green. That's KACEYGREEN. Coming up, we've got unless Tesla bumps me again by making me do another software update video, I'm not complaining. I have my towing vlog, a couple Supercharger reviews, and I've got a lot more. There's a whole network storage device over here that's just full of videos. It's just like, hey, I'm full. So I need to get them out
publishing.
as well. Yeah, yes, exactly.
And of course, sometime next year there'll be a gingerbread building course that Casey's going to be releasing. But we'll see when the
with
timing.
With templates and everything.
Patrick Connor, what have you got for us?
Yeah, I'll give another shout out to Theodore. Thanks, Theodore. And tomorrow, I'm getting my power walls installed. I've mentioned it on the show before. It slipped a little bit. Tomorrow's the day. So I'll blog that whole process and put in some stats and what incentives I used and how much this all cost and how much of a tax rebate I'm getting for it. Because here in Oregon, there are state and federal incentives. So that's a big help. And then I also blog occasionally at carswithcords.net. I've got a story coming out on the 1st. That whole diesel to decel is the title for one of my articles is talking about towing with EVs and how traditionally that's been the realm of diesel, and now battery technology has gotten to a point where that's going to start getting replaced, and we'll see that with the Cybertruck and all the other trucks coming out, and of course the semi. That's definitely going to be a long haul, and so
no pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a long haul vehicle definitely. And then I'm also with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org. Thanks, everybody.
I want to tag on, Patrick, and mention that the federal incentive that you mentioned is extended for 1 more year.
Yeah, I thought it was actually 2 more years. So.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was 2. I knew it was at least 1. I apologize.
Yeah, so it's been in its phase out. So this incentive used to be 30%, and then it dropped to 26%. And this incentive covers solar and battery backup for solar. And so in 2021, it was scheduled to drop to 22%, and then in 2023 down to 10%. So with the omnibus bill that was just passed, it's staying at 26%. So for the next 2 years. So I don't have to worry about if they go, oh, we're not going to get to it till January. It'll certainly change my taxes for the year or not. So I still want them to get it done in this calendar year if they can. But it's also not going to cost me an extra 4% if they slip a day or two.
What about your state taxes? Are they extended as well, or?
I know
some of them
the
ride
state
off it.
taxes are new this year, so
Okay.
it's it's as far as I know scheduled to just stay. I haven't really looked into that.
Yeah. So that means I'll also be good whenever I finally get a house.
That's right. Yeah, but don't take tax advice from a podcast.
No. Definitely take what we gave you, take it to your tax professional, and
Get it checked out.
you might also need a second opinion, but definitely do it with professionals instead of with us.
Yeah.
With that, Casey, roll the music, and we will say good night to all of you, and enjoy your New Year's Eve coming up tomorrow. And Happy New Year to all of you.
Thanks, B-Moon. Stay positive.